Rochelle, would you like to talk or do you want me to talk? Okay, I will talk.
Okay.
So for senior center short-term goals for this year, we focused on successfully onboarding a senior center assistant, which was a new position, to ultimately support, all the staff and being able to do the jobs they were actually hired, to do. Everyone, including Rochelle, had been spending so much time just doing operational tasks to make sure that everything happens on a daily basis, that it didn't leave a lot of space for any planning or like new ideas, etc., because they were all just boots on the ground all day, every day. So the senior center assistant has been here for a full year, which is amazing. We love that. And has really supported and helping Rochelle to not be driving vans all of the time. And really fill in those gaps and take over things like writing the newsletter and some of those admin tasks. That's gone really great. And then the overarching goal is also to make sure that by having someone else who can kind of fill in for Rochelle, Rochelle could go to trainings and like take vacations and, you know, things like that we all want for Rochelle.
And she's also really taking over a lot of the food distribution.
Cool.
So for the Iraqis and everything that St. George's, which is
Rochelle, who's your assistant?
Stephanie Buell.
Okay, cool.
So that's gone really well, huge win. And then Rochelle and Stephanie have been working on implementing a sustainable snow removal program for seniors. And that, I would call it soft launched last winter. Rochelle, do you wanna share a little bit how it went and successes that you had?
It's still a challenge. We didn't have a huge winter last year, thank God, but if we do, there will be more need. We've been trying to work a little bit with, like the city used to provide some specific snow removal areas. And a little bit within the county. A lot of neighbors were able to pitch in last year, although that's not really sustainable. So here's the snow today, and we're still working on, really thinking about if we have a big winter at all in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. I'd really like it to be something that continues on, and we don't just get through each year with that. So, we're really doing some brainstorming about that currently. And trying to come up with some creative ways that we'll discuss a little more too.
But ultimately, last year you all utilized volunteers, is that
Well,
correct?
also community service workers, but that's also something that is not sustainable and you cannot count on. Although if they really wanna get their hours done, then we really see progress. Some people really, with volunteers and everything else, are really excited. You really believe they're gonna show up the next day, but that just doesn't happen often. So as much as we'd like to say, oh yeah, the community just jumps out there and helps their neighbors, that's if it's for just for us. If we were to get a weekend of a couple feet of snow, which requires, roof raking and then the shoveling and plowing, that becomes, it's like a bigger issue than, hasn't been that easy to solve, honestly, but we really are trying to be creative about it. And, I've come up with some ideas that I still have to run by Kelsey.
Great. But we did successfully remove snow for seniors
Yes,
last year,
we
so
did.
that is a
Yes,
big step in the
sorry.
right direction. And leads into our short-term goals, is we wanna make that program more sustainable. And figure out the best way to do that in the most successful way. So we are gonna be purchasing some more supplies with money that we've budgeted for that program, and then continue to work on the humans that will utilize those supplies to remove the snow.
Question,
Yes,
do you work with Friends of Lake County at all to manage this?
we have not.
Cause
I don't even know who these friends are.
it's like a Friends of the entire county. So there's a Friends of Twin Lakes.
Yes.
The Friends of Lake County is managed by Adam Descharme,
Oh, okay.
our TED director. And they have they work with all sorts of partners. Most of their volunteer and service opportunities are in the summer, like with the Forest Service, etc. And it just might be an opportunity where they're already trying to build volunteer base, they're already got strong communication lines, and they're good at networking with other entities. That might be a strong place to build on instead of starting from scratch.
That's great.
And I know that like I participated in Shovel Corps when it was with the city, and it was nice to have like to be dedicated to one senior. It was like adopt a senior almost. And it really worked for us because then it was really regular. It was like, okay, we know who our one person is that we are taking care of, and our accountability is to one person, and it made it very much like if we don't show up, it's clear who's not showing up and for whom. So the accountability really made it strong for
Would
at least
you
our.
communicate with that person, like if there was a weekend snow, or they would just hope that you guys would come by at some point, but you wouldn't say,
We're gonna be here at
"We're
this
coming
time.
over," yeah.
Not through the program, I could see that being really valuable, but through the
Yeah.
program that the city was doing, it was really like they were managing that, you don't talk to the person. But it would have been a lot better if you had single point accountability, between each other. Anyway, I loved it. I loved
That
it a lot.
is great, and I would love to see that as far as managing all of that
I know.
on our time, especially on the weekends, which is when we seem to get snow for some reason. Is also one of our hurdles to overcome.
Well, that's why it was like adopt a senior, you sign up one time before the snow flies. And we never got any other communication from the city, which is like if it snows, we know where we're supposed to be. Doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter what time of the week, we were to show up for this woman on Elm Street, period. So we had one-time communication from our manager of the program.
And who was managing?
Good question. I kinda Cisco, but I don't remember.
City?
Mhm.
Alright, that would be.
I know we're not getting into we shouldn't be getting into operations, but I loved that program and I would be really happy to participate again, and I'm sure other people would too if we had it, if it was not too burdensome for you all.
Well, when it is like 25 people, I'm just thinking, like, it just, that's part of the whole, how do we sustain?
Yeah.
Like, we could get people excited for the first 3 snows maybe.
Yeah.
That the commitment, follow through, the no oversight part,
Right.
that sounds good.
I'm just,
It's a good idea. Also, we added into short-term goals here just to explore new funding opportunities. We have applied for a CDOT grant to support our large transportation program for the seniors. We will know if that is awarded in the coming weeks. And that was a matching grant, but what's really great is the county is currently 100% funding the program, so it would reduce the county's cost on the program by 50%. So the match is already there, which is amazing. So we will see if we are awarded that. I hope we are. Yeah, what's interesting too is the UCOG receives funds through that same, 5310, I think?
That is, yeah.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
important.
So like the UCOG receives those funds, but they don't spend them in Lake County
for what specifically?
for transportation.
CDOT 5310 funds?
Yeah, there might be, it
They're
might be,
very select based for the most part.
Canyon City based really,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
but a lot of resources goes there.
Yeah. And then just,
You got this, Andy. You're gonna be get so powerful.
Like, well, we pulled out of UConn. There, we got some other money to use.
and then just also looking at other smaller grants where we could be like, hey, we could apply for $5,000 to support this at the senior center, and just being a little bit more proactive in those areas. And Michelle's doing a great job, so I think we'll follow the process for those through the county, but just actually seeking them out, which is great. And then, they have already been doing this, but continuing to do caregiver support groups and grief support groups every month, along with additional educational, lunch and learns. These are hugely popular and amazing at the senior center. If you have not been to one, I would encourage you to go have lunch at the senior center and go to a lunch and learn. It is amazing.
Can I ask you a quick question about that? I get the newsletter, I love the newsletter so much. Do we have to RSVP so that they know how many people are coming?
Generally,
And who should we RSVP to? Cause I've responded to that newsletter and never gotten a response.
through the email,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
that should come to me normally.
sorry, but I'm sure you're busy too, like it's
Well,
just
if I
little
sign
me.
in with Elsa, hold on, I gotta get off the phone. Just kidding. But, I did not see an
No
email,
worries.
but sometimes they get tagged on.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
might have like 20
Yeah,
on
yeah.
top of the newsletter and maybe it got lost in there.
so just RSVP to you,
But,
is what you're
Or you could call the senior center number, that's always on there, and then leave a message on the machine, and that's probably the best
saying.
to,
Okay, cool,
for RSVP.
thank you.
Oh yeah, you're right, you did wanna come to a lunch and learn on the very first, yeah.
I was like, oh,
I was like, let's,
maybe this isn't for
find a
me.
good one for her to come to, like, we're doing Medicare, every month until the end of the open enrollment. So I don't know how exciting that would be, but it's
Super
exciting for the seniors.
That's like part of our job. Is
Well,
advocating for
sometimes we
Medicare.
have fun ones. Yeah, that might relate to what's going on in your life too.
Valentine's Day, when I wanted to go to.
Oh my
Doesn't
gosh,
matter.
the sock hop was so great.
The sock hop.
Yes, it was, I'll decide.
Will there be photos of the sock cup in the next newsletter?
What we're gonna do is we are going to make like a little Christmas book for everybody. So we'll have a booklet of all the different things that people have done. It's hard to get it into the newsletter because there's not enough time.
And then this is not really a SMART goal, but just ultimately continuing everything we do at the senior center with the goal of increasing engagement and well-being of our seniors while maintaining strong trust with the community. We just continue to see more seniors participating in our programs, which is really great. And we wanna continue to see that, cause that's shows that we're building great trust and getting folks out of their homes too, or meeting them in their homes, which is all really wonderful, great. The long-term goals that were written, is just to enhance collaboration with county departments, local nonprofits to increase case management and improve resource utilization, for our senior population. And then, also to increase regional collaboration, this is a new long-term goal, to support aging well programs and resources. Rochelle has been doing an amazing job connecting with our neighboring counties and seeing like how our programs like can benefit each other and what we can learn from them. And they just went down to Chaffey and did like some joint programming, which was really cool.
Yes, I'm really trying to build relationships with the case managers, nurses, other staff. A lot of our Lake County residents, of course, are going to Summit and Eagle for their care. And then we released back to Leadville where we don't have home health aides, we don't have the support, so I'm really excited about this part of it, of helping them even to come together. I'm gonna be hosting something here in Leadville for Chaffey, Summit, and Eagle, for the caregivers to all get to know each other.
Cool.
So I'm really excited about that because anytime you have face to face, you get things done obviously a lot quicker when you have these relationships. People are invested in our Lake County residents, which is awesome.
Michelle, isn't and or Kelsey, the home health aides, doesn't UCOG have something to do with that program too? Because we met somebody, came to a community coffee who was represented the UCOG in terms of home health.
They have funding. It's not actual home health aides, it's the senior can choose someone to help them. It's 48 hours, they can earn $24 an hour. They need to qualify for that, they go through the paperwork, but that is also not a long-term solution. It's 48 hours total, but we don't have one person in this town. I saw someone say something on Facebook and I immediately was like, you're a caregiver, please get a hold of me right away. We don't have one single person currently to refer anyone one too for regular home health is only through Bristol Home for acute. Right after surgery, they'll come for about 6 weeks. But as far as actual home health aides, we do not have those. That's another goal I don't have on here, but I'd like to work with the hospital and CMC and DHS to get some of these kids coming out of high school, the CNAs with work here in town.
So the UOCOG, their funding is for 48 hours of any of those folks that could be qualified in Leadville, in Lake County.
Yes,
Okay.
it could be somebody's neighbor.
Temporary senior home health aid, this 48-hour thing. We're not getting it because we don't have anyone localized who can provide it.
Correct.
Is that a rule set up by UCOG, or is there like a reason why we couldn't like say, oh, hey, here's this person in JP County who's willing to drive up? Is that like a possible solution, or?
That is, yes, a solution. We have to find people willing to come to Leadville.
Yeah.
That is a huge goal. Along with this collaboration, I feel like that's how you lay the groundwork to kind of get this message out. The pay, the whole, part of my reasoning for wanting to really collaborate in these other counties is, for instance, Eagle County pays their home health aides like $37 an hour. There's the potential in my mind that, you know, they have these Lake County residents, of course they're falling in love with our community too, and then sending them back here, like I said, with no resources. I could just see that there could be the potential that a lot of these people going to Eagle live in Lake County, but they get paid at this great rate. So I just don't know if eventually through Vale Hospital, through Centura, I know this is a lofty goal, but it's a goal to get that back here. We at one time did have home health about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And they actually, you know, oversaw that and had nurses that they would send out and CNAs and, you know, home health aides. That just has not been happening for at least a decade.
Okay.
And it's really a huge gap.
Yeah.
It's a big
Huge.
deal that we don't have home health aides here.
If you feel like there are ways that county commissioners can really help network or lobby to help get this done, Michelle, will you please make sure to reach out?
Absolutely, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
As I learn more about what the potential is.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Keep us posted.
Our UCOG meetings will be awesome.
Watch out, Andy. They'll stare at you like you don't know what you're talking about, but you know what
They're
you're talking
going to, like they
That's
do
right.
every time when they ask some questions, you know. I've got a pretty big list.
We did kind of try to explore with them, Andy, over the past year, like what it would look like to contract out with Lake County, and we run the whole nutrition program for the senior center. And they at one point were open to discussing that, but then ultimately they just fully shut us down and didn't really provide the information. And I don't need to push it, but
Yeah,
all we want is all of these programs to meet the needs
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
community, and if they are met through the UCOG, that's great. I'm not gonna try to take over something that UCOG's doing really well, but there's a lot of gaps in that. And we have not had a ton of success in getting any amount of like, oh, that does sound like a big gap and really hard, how can we support Lake County in removing that barrier?
what were some of the very specific ones you mentioned there that you said nutrition program?
The nutrition program, so the staff member that works and runs the nutrition program, Loretta, who's been there for over 30 years,
Yeah.
she's incredible, she is the backbone of the senior center. Michelle, you're amazing, but
No, it's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
no, but she gets paid as a 20-hour-a-week county employee and a 20-hour-a-week UCOG employee,
Okay.
which means she doesn't get full benefits from either spot. Thank you, so I was like, hey, let's
Just sick
explore,
pay from
what?
only 48 hours sick pay from the county, that's
Yeah.
the extent of the benefits,
Yeah,
no vacation.
no retirement, So we were trying to be like, hey, can you guys just pay us money and we'll take Loretta on as a full-time employee so that we can get her a retirement match and like all of these other things.
Yeah,
And ultimately, they said, no, we don't wanna have this conversation.
okay, can we pause for a second?
Yeah,
The UCOG is not statutory. Like, it's a fully voluntary thing. Why? I think it's worth us being like, why are we doing this?
That's essentially what I've gotta ask them, like, why, hey, I'm not gonna come at them super aggro, it's gonna be more of like, hey, I've got some concerns.
Yeah.
Staff has pointed out multiple
Yeah.
deficiencies that they've explained to me that sound pretty concerning. Can I get receipts? Can I get reports that are showing me the services that you guys are actually providing for us, the costs, what are we getting out of this? Can you
For
guys?
what
When's the next meeting you have with them?
Uh,
This week?
yeah, it's this week, so tomorrow or the next day. So,
I mean, I'm assuming we have some sort of contract with them,
I
we
imagine.
can certainly look at that too,
This
and
is
say, here's what the
membership.
contract says,
Yeah.
should be,
that's why I'm not gonna, burn any bridges yet or anything
Sure.
like that, it's more of like, hey, give us the numbers so that we can make informed decisions. Cause if we're not being served by, I'm not gonna say if we're not being served like by this, we might wonder what our options are, but that is, I think, where we might wanna be at this point.
Now I'm really curious.
We were even like, we can't operate the kitchen unless Loretta's there, cause a UCOG employee has to be there. And so Loretta, like a normal human who gets sick and should be able to take vacations and be gone, we are not able to run the congregate meals in their fashion when she is not there. And I was like, hey, do you think we could get a waiver, or could we get somebody else trained, or like, how can we make a plan so that if Loretta is taking time off, which we all want for Loretta, that we can still operate as normal.
And they said
That's
no.
at the senior center, the kitchen?
They said no?
On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, there has to be a COG employee, which Loretta is the only COG employee in the whole senior center. So she cares for her 86-year-old mother,
Yeah,
and
and she's a human.
exactly, and so when she's not there, we deliver blizzard boxes, which is like an on-the-spot thing, you can't even have some downstairs in case this happens. They have to like come from Salida to bring those. And we are not allowed to do our meal at all on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thursdays are a little different because those are county days, Mondays and Thursdays are county days.
We're on this. We're on this.
Well, and I don't know if I should be mentioning this, but I'm just going to.
Yes.
Loretta-
Yes.
I can't wait to hear what you're about to
Well,
say.
you know, she is approaching retirement,
Yeah,
so
Loretta is approaching retirement.
Yeah,
you know, her mom ran this program before her, so this has been going on for 50 years.
Wow.
So it's something to really, another thing I'm always kind of thinking about,
Yeah.
planning for, considering. So this whole COG business, not that we don't want it resolved, but things potentially could look different in the next 2 years,
Mhm.
year and a half potentially.
And I think Loretta
whenever it
wasn't,
is, we wanna be ready before it happens.
I agree, so that's why I just wanted to sort of throw that in there.
Yeah,
Good to know.
in the current way, it would be, in my opinion, nearly impossible to hire someone into the position in the way that Loretta currently has the position,
There's no benefit.
with no benefits.
Yeah.
2020.
what is her
Sure.
official title?
Site coordinator. I call her also head cook. I think through the COG, she's
Okay.
considered their site coordinator for, they cover 4 counties. So they have, well, Salida actually doesn't do most of that, but
Mhm.
in any case, site coordinator,
What's her last name?
Varela, Varela.
Okay, so
No.
it was broken down by days of the week, like we only had what, Mondays and what?
Wednesday,
Mondays
Friday.
and Thursdays.
We have
Mondays and Thursdays are the county days. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays are COG days, which also means that we can't provide certain programming, cause we could be potentially in conflict of what for instance, if we were to do a luncheon run and it was on a topic that the COG maybe thought people won't show up for lunch because they don't wanna hear about this topic or be involved with this topic, they could detract from meals. So we have to have special clearance if we're going to the zoo on a Friday, and that's one time a year, but I have to have special clearance for them to do that. 'Cause it's the one free day. But because it competes with their nutrition program, that's an issue.
Girl, that is burdensome.
It sounds overly
Overly
complicated.
burdensome.
Well, I mean, it impacts Loretta,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
She's the one that is being impacted.
Which in turn is counterproductive to the mission statement of like providing services for seniors and
it's enough just to be a cook. That is plenty to be getting on with, let alone all the other,
She is on top of everything and the woman is not cut ever. Always stays until even longer and then I can go home now, they're like, oh, I've still got a da. You know, so I really respect her a lot.
she sounds amazing.
She is amazing.
Hey Matt, with how scattered our contracts are.
I was able to find it actually.
Oh wow, okay, I was just saying, do you want me to request that from
I
that?
can, assuming there's only one, but this
Is that
one,
the IGA?
yeah, is that the one?
Mm-hmm.
And it's IGA for, regarding nutrition program for seniors.
Yeah, and we started this conversation before we renewed the IGA because I was like, hey, let's get all the information, if they can contract with us and we can make a better employment situation for Loretta. And like other counties do something like this and then they basically were like, no. We're not interested in explaining
I think they need a pitch to Loretta actually, like,
Yeah.
don't you have it like this way with us? kind
They, I
of
think
thing.
they did do that.
And then in the end, it was just,
I'm sharing this with you if you want to.
Thank you.
just,
Okay, so Matt and
Looks like this
Andy
IGA
are
is
gonna,
expired.
I have the new one, I can,
It is?
I can, we have a
There's a
We have
new
a
one,
brand-
okay.
we have a brand new one that
Okay.
started in July.
Okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
one is June 30th, 2025, yeah.
yeah,
We have it.
Graduates.
maybe Matt and Andy could connect before your UCOG.
Wednesday, 10 to 11 a.m. is my UCOG meeting.
is that with Tom or is it with the new executive?
With the new executive, but this is like, I think my monthly meeting with them in all the counties, which an hour doesn't seem long enough, but, cause I'm probably gonna take most of it up.
Well, and I will say
Get
real quick that the area on aging, which is within the COG, is what is providing the support for the caregiver respite, for these chore programs, for this home health program. It's separate from the nutrition.
Yeah.
And that part of it, that's in every county in the entire United States, there's an area on aging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that, so even if the COG nutrition program potentially went away at some point, that area on aging would still be serving us in this county regardless. Because we're within their 4-county region, region 13 out of the state.
Okay.
So that would always be available to our Lake County residents, whether the nutrition program wasn't.
Okay.
So it's.
You know, at some point, we just have to ask that hard question of like, what are we paying UCOG? What are we getting out of it? Does it make more sense for us to, you know, make hard decisions there and pivot? But for now, I will just try to get as much info out of them as I can, receipts, of what they're doing, and then if anyone in the room has anything helpful to offer, like, oh, well, I don't know, I will bring it back to staff and confer with you guys on anything I can pull out of there that sounds helpful. For now.
I
We'll-
didn't mean to just be complaining about things, because honestly, if I was just doing the pitch for the senior center, like, we are so lucky to have the senior center in Lake County.
Good.
We have such a vibrant, interactive, uplifting, positive place, and we are lucky JV County does not even have a senior center. They did, and then they opened it up to the public and it held their senior center.
Where is that?
In Salida,
Oh, wow.
What do you mean they
And then-
opened it to the public? Do you mean?
instead of keeping it as a senior center, like the clubhouse mentality of what it is. And then there was also one in BB, sorry, I don't take up much time, I gotta go through it. They opened it out, it said it was okay to talk politics. And that polarized the group, and that BB senior center dried up and no longer exists. So, we, sometimes I'm just so surprised by Leadville, like, we're sort of like leading the pack on having a thriving senior center in Leadville, I'm really proud of it.
Michelle, we have heard such amazing things about you, I
That's what I
gotta
was gonna
say.
say.
It's not me,
People,
it's
no,
the
girl.
whole team, it's a group,
I'm
it's
sure it's the whole team.
billions.
You're a really good leader and I really
Well,
respect
thank
you. And people have specifically sat in these chairs and
Yeah.
said Rochelle is amazing.
Oh, she is
And
great.
some praises about you and offered a lot of gratitude for the senior centers you're
Dude, I got like the feelings, like hit pretty hard when that woman was sitting there
Oh my gosh,
talking
I
about
love that.
everything you do.
Aw,
And it
Yeah.
was like,
oh my gosh, thanks you guys, thanks for all you do.
You just keep doing your thing and thanks for letting us know how we can be helpful.
yeah,
Well, I really appreciate your support, we feel very supported by the county, so that's what helps make everything just continue to go forward in a positive way, so. We're all very lucky to live here, aren't we guys? Yes. I have to go attend an
think we're
appointment
good.
for my dad.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much,
you.
really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Kelsey.
You want me to?
Yeah, I'll email you the
I hope I
IGN
didn't
answer right now.
roll, you know how I get, Kelsey.
You're
No,
doing
you did amazing, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you, Rochelle.
Take care, bye-bye.
Kelsey, if there's anything else you can think of you want me to bring up to the board
Yeah.
or anything related